Hi, and welcome to the Sunburst Sanctuary Sunday Meditation for January 24th, 2021. My name is Al King, and the subject for today's talk is practicing non-attachment or contentment. Paramahansa Yogananda once said, "Peace emanates from the soul and is the sacred inner environment in which true happiness unfolds." When I started to think about this topic, the idea behind the Serenity Prayer by Reinhold Niebuhr came into my mind. And I did have to look that up and figure out who had said it and exactly what they said. But that prayer did seem to be quite appropriate. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The first phrase of this prayer, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, is a key to finding that peace Yogananda referred to and the happiness that results. When we're attached to the results of our efforts and things don't unfold the way that we are anticipating, it can create a lot of anxiety and frustration. This anxiety and frustration makes it even more difficult to accomplish the goal that we are trying to. And it also keeps us from feeling contentment, keeps us from feeling that peace from which our true happiness emanates. As an example of this, one morning I got up, it was a Monday morning, and I had my to-do list, all the things that I wanted to do. I had a time schedule in which to do it. My plan was to go over to a distant part of the ranch and always want to be very efficient with my time because it's a long travel time over and back. So I got up Monday morning, I'm all fired up, ready to go, jump in the truck. Truck won't start. So I said, okay, I've got to figure out how to deal with this. And I got out and started diagnosing things, and there were a number of issues that had to be dealt with. And I ended up with a lot of tools out, pile of wrenches, screwdriver, hacksaw, chisel, hammer, and I was really having a tough time trying to overcome these obstacles. And the longer it took, the more I knew that I was getting off schedule and I was going to have to completely rearrange my whole day. I was getting really frustrated and anxious. And then it hit me, you're thinking about this talk for non-attachment and trying to think about examples of it. And here you are. I mean, how much better could it be than being out here in the sunshine with a whole bunch of tools and, being able to create the solution for a problem? You should be really happy and enjoy the process. And once I had given up on trying to keep up with a time schedule and trying to make sure that my to-do list got done just as I had planned it, then all of a sudden I was no longer frustrated, I was no longer anxious, and I was actually enjoying the task at hand. And I did get the truck started, and I had to rearrange my schedule for the day, but I did get a lot of stuff done. The second phrase of this prayer, grant me the courage to change the things that I can. Non-attachment, or an attitude of acceptance, does not mean that we're not to take action. What the world really needs now is more light workers. more people that are dedicated to making positive changes. It's a time where we really need to be in action. We should be working to try to help the world come into a place of peace and of harmony. We should be working through virtuous action to create brotherhood on the planet. In thinking about our actions, I know for myself, I find myself asking God to show me how to be His hands. How can my hands do the work that God wants me to do? Conscious action requires commitment. It requires a lot of effort and often requires a great deal of courage. But throughout this action, we do have to maintain an attitude of non-attachment to the results. Otherwise, we may be defeating what we're truly after, and that is contentment, peace, and happiness. The third phrase of this prayer, grant me the wisdom to know the difference. This is discernment. Discernment is so important throughout our lives. We are constantly being presented with many different courses of action. We're being presented many different choices in how we're going to go through our day. And it's discernment that helps us to determine whether we're going to apply virtue in what we're doing or take another course of action. I was reminded of David's talk several weeks ago, where he had diagrams of a circle within a circle. The larger circle was the area of concern, the things that mattered in our lives, the things that we cared about, the things that affected us. And inside of that was a smaller circle that was the circle of influence. I hope I'm getting this right, but anyway, the smaller circle inside is the area that we can actually influence through our activities. These are the things that we can do to try to accomplish great goals. This is where our action comes into play. This area of action is where we determine what we can do and what we can't do to help us attain what we're trying to attain. We cannot do everything. There's only so much that we can do, so we want to prioritize our efforts so that the best outcome will be achieved with what resources of time and energy that we have. But we do want to make sure that we're not attached to the results of our efforts. There are a couple of things, though, that we can do to increase our area of influence. One of them is just simply to act in virtue in whatever we do. The fact that we're going through life and our actions are virtuous is going to create a better environment around us. There will be more peace. There will be more happiness as a result of our virtuous action. And another aspect is meditation. It might be hard to think about how sitting in a room quietly can actually have an effect on the world around us. But I remember back a number of years ago when the people involved in transcendental meditation tried an experiment. They had a lot of people show up in Washington, D.C. and meditate for a week. The result of that meditation was that the crime statistics in the city went down dramatically. So meditation is a way that we can increase our area of influence. So on that thought of meditation, this is the time when we'll go into a period of silent meditation. But I want to change the routine a little bit. Normally, we go right into the meditation, but today I want to have an activity after meditation. So the song that would be played normally after meditation, we'll put in this place coming right up. The song is Your Hands. So we'll let the song take us in to the quiet meditation. And this is the time that if you have a technique of meditation that you use that. And if you don't, a couple of things that we can do. We want to start by quieting our mind, trying not to let the thoughts that normally just run through continue to run through. And then we want to focus on our breath. The act of focusing on the breath will help bring some stability to these thoughts. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in, imagine energy rising up your spine. And then pause your breath. And then as you exhale, imagine the energy flowing down your spine. And as you concentrate on this exercise, hopefully the random thoughts will disappear. And then you can have thoughts of serenity, thoughts of contentment, thoughts of peace and happiness.
Help me to see what you want me to see. Help me to be your hands. Help me to hear what you want me to hear. Help me to be your hands. Help these hands to build a wonderful new world of peace and harmony. Help these hands to build a world that is filled with love and beauty. Help me to feel compassion and empathy. Help me to be your hands, striving for love and bliss. Let my goal be this. Help me to be your hands. Help these hands to make the world a better place for all to live side by side. Help these hands to shape a peaceful place for our spirits to reside. Help me to know and share your love. Help me to be your hand. Help me to be person I should be. Help me to be your hands. Help me to be your hand.
this is the time that we're going to have another activity. And I won't be back after the activity, so I'm going to take this time to thank you all for spending this time with us in this Sunday meditation service. So throughout the next week, be safe, and I wish you many blessings. The second phrase of the Serenity Prayer suggests action. So this part of the country that we are living in here in Santa Barbara County, and actually all of the West, is experiencing a great drought. In pre-COVID times, during our Sunday meditations this time of year, we would often sing a song we call the Rain Song. It's a Native American style chant, prayer. We were trying to figure out how to make this work on a video and decided to pre-record some of us singing this prayer. So if it's appropriate in your space, we would love it if you would follow along and sing with us. And as you're singing, imagine the rain coming down. Imagine your skin getting wet, maybe even your bare feet squishing in the mud. We really feel that this effort that we make to call in the rain will help bring it forth. And the land around us needs it so much to maintain the present ecosystem. If you're living in an area that's presently having a lot of rain, then of course please project the rain to the areas on the planet that do need it. And if you're in an area or the place you're at currently, it's not appropriate to sing out loud with us. Follow along and project with us this rain, even if you have to do it silently. But as we are making this effort to call forth the rain, to make our desires known to Spirit, we do need to maintain an attitude of non-attachment. Our view may not be the same view that God has, and it may be God's will that this not occur. The result of droughts and of fires that follow the droughts is change. And change is often very difficult, but sometimes it's necessary. So as we make our effort, we want to maintain this attitude of non-attachment and continue to be in a place of serenity, of peace, and of true happiness. So please join with us in singing the Rain Song.
Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey yonder, hey yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the clouds gather. Hey, yonder, hey, yonder, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Rains come, rains come, let the rains come. Aho.